Hey bitches, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my first official video of 2023. I hope that you guys are all doing amazing. And I know before anybody comments down below, I did upload yesterday my Instagram calling out Jaclyn Hill for literally trying to drum up drama involving her deceased ex and trying to place that on drama channels. I will have a full video on that coming very soon, but you guys did not need to be a rocket scientist. I did not need to be a rocket scientist to figure out that Jaclyn Hill was just trying to drum up drama because you guessed it, she has a launch coming today for Jaclyn Cosmetics. So I didn't want to upload a video because I didn't want to appear that I was supporting her bullshit in any way. Didn't want the clicks, didn't want the views, didn't want none of that, but the video is coming very, very soon. So earlier today, and I want to say earlier as in like 1 a.m. because I was doing what I do, I was laying in bed with TikTok like this in my face and none other than James Charles popped up, and not a James Charles video from his actual account, which is weird because now that I think about it, I don't feel like I've ever seen an actual TikTok from James Charles. Not blocked though, because I clicked through on this one and clicked his name and I was like, oh, okay, he is on TikTok. But if you had to take a guess as to why James Charles is getting called out once again, you're probably gonna be right. He's getting called out for sliding in the DMs of another heterosexual man and trying to get him to be his boyfriend, and this time he sent him like a list, honey, of what it would take to be James Charles' boyfriend and like what the perks are that come with it, you know. I'm gonna read those in a second, but I want to say this at first. This is not going to bash James in any way. I might throw a little bit of shade here and there because I have to give credit where credit is due, and the first message that I saw that James actually sent this person was age check. So kudos to James. I just wish that he would find another way to find love because I feel like it's every month almost we're learning about James Charles sliding into another person's DMs. You would think by now he would learn his lesson because 9 times out of 10 these people that he is talking to are going to put it online. They're going to show the DMs, they're going to show the private messages, they're going to show the private videos that James sent them. So he's really not winning. Or maybe he is winning. Maybe he hooks up with these people, maybe he gets what he wants other than a boyfriend, and maybe that's just like, okay, you're going to show the messages, you're going to show the messages. As I'm sitting here looking at the photo of this guy that James was sending the DMs to, it really solidifies in my mind the type that James Charles has. And in my opinion, that type is Gage 2019 Coachella. Do you guys remember Gage? What is Gage up to now? I know the last time that I saw Gage, he was hanging out with Tana Mojo and they were throwing some kind of shade at James. But you would have thought from all the 2019 drama, I think there might have been some in 2020, I'm not exactly sure, don't quote me on that. But you would have thought from all of that, James Charles just would have like steered clear of the Instagram DMs or any kind of DM for that matter, at least from his like main account. I don't know. Maybe he has, what do they call it? Like a Finsta? Is that what the young kids are calling it these days? A Finsta? Get one of those, James, that's not attached to your check mark. Although I do believe that you want the check mark there so people think that it's a little bit something more special when they're DMing you and you send them a message, because these messages are cringe. Like, I don't know if this is a joke, I don't know if this is satire, but this is literally cringe. So the first messages that were exposed in the screenshot say, and this is from James, this was in vanish mode, so apparently it didn't vanish quick enough. So James starts by telling this guy that it's a very lucrative role to be his boyfriend, and then he starts to list the requirements down below. So if you've ever wanted to shoot your shot with James Charles, these are the requirements that you have to pass in order to even get a DM from him. So here we go. 6'2 plus, all right. Must love escape rooms, horror movies, and cuddling, understandable. This one I'm gonna say is very important. You have to have a big dick, and I'm gonna say it's very important because James is on like his 2nd or 3rd BBL right now, even though he likes to lie about it online for some reason. So you have to be able to get past the cheeks. This is another one. Now James Charles wants the armpit hair. You guys will remember in other messages that he was exposed for to people that were under, you know what I mean. So to people that probably didn't have armpit hair, James Charles now wants the armpit hair. So see, we have learned, we have turned over a new leaf with James Charles. He now age checks and he now wants armpit hair. Come on, full bush. He then goes on to say that an occasional FaceTime call, which I find very like odd. Like, why would you say occasional? Like, wouldn't it be like always? Like, if you're not together, like, wouldn't you want to like talk to him? I don't know. Is this like a sugar baby type of thing? Like, what's going on here? The salary is $0, but he thinks that it is a good job offer. All right, escort. Perks include a cute boyfriend with a great personality and huge ass. Free living in a $10 million house in LA. Now see, this is where we're gonna get to the part where it's like, how do you expect people to want to be with you for you when you're throwing around like, hey, do you know that you could live in this $10 million house? Maybe you want to come here. Like, maybe you want to come visit. Maybe it's all that. That's just a recipe for disaster. Like, what are we going to be a few months out from now? We're going to hear some more up things that he did. Fun travel opportunities, good head, and more. Who told James Charles that he's given good head is what I would like to know. This is where history really started to repeat itself for me in this situation. Now, this guy is claiming that he is straight. I don't know if that's 100% true. I don't know if he's dabbled with guys before. In my opinion, if you're entertaining a guy in DM and they're sending you inappropriate photos, all the fully heterosexual men that I know are not entertaining that bullshit. They don't care if they have millions of dollars or what. They don't care if they can expose them. None of that. They're saying, leave me the f alone. That's f***ing disgusting, and moving on with their f***ing business, and rightfully f***ing so. Because no straight man wants to be looking at a bussy. Like, no, put a P on that. So y'all remember that when James was in the drama with Gage, as well as the waiter from Seattle, I believe that his name was Sam. Do you remember the video from Sam where he was sitting at the table talking about the James situation, and it literally looked like he was being interrogated? He was like this, with the light above him, literally reading cue cards, in my opinion. Well, this is kind of similar, because this video clip that James sent to this guy is kind of trying to bait him into having a FaceTime call with him, and it's really reminding me of the, well, how do you know that you're straight? How do you know that you're straight if you've never done this before?
So obviously, being that you are straight, I would assume that you don't know a lot about, like, the gay community. So if I'm being like, oh my god, David, you're annoying, over text, right? You don't know if I'm saying like, oh my god, David, you're being annoying. Or like, oh my god, David, you're being annoying. Or like, oh my god, David, you're being annoying. Because all three of those are completely different, like, emotions that you cannot see through text. You only get to actually experience those through a FaceTime call or through being in person. Even over the phone, you still miss out on things because you're missing somebody's facial expressions, right? So because you refuse to hang out with people, or because you refuse to FaceTime, you're not allowing people to actually get to know you as like a human being. And that's a massive, massive problem whenever it comes to being in a relationship with somebody. You cannot fall in love with somebody simply just from text.
No, James, I do not believe that this guy who is literally telling you that he is straight is at home Googling what it's like to be part of the LGBTQIA plus alphabet soup community. I also do not believe that he's sitting at home Googling what it's like to experiment with a man. What I don't understand, and maybe this is why you're having such a hard time finding somebody who's actually interested in you and somebody who actually wants to be with you, James, and you'll probably just continue to repeat this same path for a very long time until you honestly change your ways and decide to fetishize something else. Why is it so difficult to find another gay man, or even a bisexual man? Or better yet, because I'm not going to shame James for sliding into people's DMs and shooting his shot, but how about when somebody that you message tells you that they're straight, you just leave it at that? They're straight. That should be the end of the conversation. There shouldn't be any video clips of like, well, how do you know? Are you sure? You've never tried it. There shouldn't be any kind of pressure that you're trying to apply. And you definitely shouldn't be trying to send them messages like, well, you could come live in this $10 million house. You could have this money. You could get this. Like, no, girl, the whole gay for pay thing, like, girl, get an escort. Rent men is calling. And with that said, everyone, that is it for this video. Please let me know all of your thoughts and opinions down below. Are you shocked that James has been in someone else's DMs? Well, another straight person's DMs. Let me know down in the comment section. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Bye.